Hi, everyone. I'm Kathy Zering, intuitive coach at Energy Rapport. Welcome to the November 2023 Energy Awareness video. So I'm going to be sharing some energetic themes for you to keep in mind during the upcoming month. And I'll also include some helpful suggestions on how you can navigate these energies. And hopefully that's going to support your personal growth and development, as well as bring you more balance and peace as we move through November. I'm connecting into my inner wisdom or intuition and sharing what I learned with you all so that you can take steps to connect and strengthen your own inner wisdom and personal power. So I'm going to encourage you to check in with your own intuition, see what resonates for you in this month's message, especially around any tips or suggestions that you want to take action on. Definitely feel into those and see how you want to proceed. So the two energetic themes for November are compassion and forgiveness. No surprise, they're both related to the heart chakra or the heart energy center and our emotional body. Lots of emotions stored in that heart space. So these themes are also related to the water element, and I'm bringing that up because I want you to use water as a symbol this month in some of the suggested practices. So this month, think about a gentle yet deep cleansing of old habits and emotions. You know, water is the perfect conduit for aiding us in clearing out the old and carrying in the new, no matter what the situation that comes up this month for you. So you can use that image of the energy of water to clear any lingering anger or resentment or any unhelpful negative energies that are emotions coming up that are most definitely blocking your path from, proceeding. As an example, I love to use the shower example. So if you take a shower every morning, every evening, just think about that water as it's washing down over you, especially get right under it and let it wash down over your head. And just think about it releasing any emotions that are no longer needed, anything that's not serving you, any fiery emotions like anger or resentment. Just think about them being washed down, all the way down out of your body and down the drain. Another visualization that you can use, especially for those of you that do meditation, you may want to add this to the end of your meditation practice, is just visualize yourself floating peacefully along a slow-moving stream or river. You're very safe. You're feeling very safe. You're trusting that the current is taking you exactly where you need to be going. So there's no struggle. There's no fighting. There's no swimming against the current. You actually want to just imagine yourself floating in that stream and that everything's going to work out exactly as it needs to. Additionally, this month, it's important to find balance, and that balance is going to be between movement and stillness in your life. So like I was just saying, sometimes you need to actually swim. You don't necessarily want to swim against the stream, but you want to, get out and swim, maybe go a little faster, take some action. Other times you want to just gently either tread water or just, lie back and let the stream take you. So we definitely need both movement and stillness in life, and you want to make sure there's a good balance there. And then lastly, as it comes to, thinking about water on that physical level, it's important to stay hydrated, especially, we're getting into the, colder months here. We're starting to turn the heat on in our homes and in, office buildings. And you want to make sure that you're drinking plenty of water. And another thing to do with water is, especially now that it's getting colder, great time to take a nice hot bath with some Epsom salt in it. So there are some tips around water. Let's talk about compassion. So, the first energetic theme that came up was compassion for this month. And I just wanted to explain it a little bit further. So you could think of compassion, that first stage of it is actually empathy. And empathy is that ability to feel the suffering of somebody else. I work with a lot of my clients are, like to refer them to themselves as empaths. They have no problem being able to feel the suffering of other people. In fact, sometimes it's too much, like they take too much of that on, and they feel that it's disruptive to their own lives and their own health and well-being. And that could be a problem, right? So empathy, it can lead to yourself feeling sad, distressed, or upset just based on, you know, leaning into and feeling that suffering of other people. And what you want to keep in mind is if these feelings are causing you to try to move away from others who are suffering, it's only going to isolate you, and you're going to continue to suffer personally. So I know a lot of empaths, like I said, in my business, and they're like, I don't know what else to do. I got to isolate myself. I can't be around these kind of energies. And what I'm going to challenge you to do this month is to draw yourself towards action, right? To alleviate that suffering. And that's what we talk about when we're talking about compassion. You're not just witnessing it or feeling it or getting overwhelmed by all these feelings of somebody else. You're actually going to take an action. So you're not just feeling it in your heart, you're actually going to act from the heart. And this could be something as simple as, especially now that it's getting colder, you might see some homeless people that are begging for money near a traffic light, like we have a lot in this area. And you may want to just give them, a few bucks. That could definitely is taking an action step and showing compassion. Another example could be helping a sick friend take care of their kids or take care of their home, especially if they have, an illness or something that could last days, weeks, or even months. And they will definitely appreciate, that act of compassion. And then a third example, especially in this time with the holidays coming up, you may want to invite an elderly neighbor or somebody that you know that's going to be alone over the holidays, and invite them to have a meal with you and your family. So there are a few examples there. Also in November, as we move through this holiday season, I just wanted to focus on opening your heart and acting from compassion in that in one of those three ways. So the first way is compassion for others, like I was just talking about in those examples that I gave you. There's always somebody else that you can help. The second way that I want you to focus on compassion is compassion for yourself. And this could be a little tricky. Sometimes we don't even think about having compassion for ourselves, but you want to be able to nurture yourself and be present with any suffering that you may be experiencing. You don't want to ignore it. You don't want to deny it. I mean, it's there and it needs to kind of move through you. When I was burning out in my corporate job, I did exactly this. I denied it. I ignored it. I pretended like it wasn't as bad as it was. I ignored that suffering and didn't effectively act to change it until I had a massive health scare. So you don't want to let it get to that point like I did. A good question to ask yourself when you're suffering is, what is this suffering trying to teach me? Now that I look back and I ask myself that question, or I can look back and I don't think I asked it quick enough back then, but it was teaching me to slow down, right? That suffering was saying, listen, you need to slow down. You have to take steps to effectively reduce your stress, and also to not be so driven and focused on my career to the point where I lost all balance with other important things in my life. So, again, compassion for yourself is another, practice that you can do this month. And then the third way of acting with compassion is to realize that you can't really know what's causing other people's bad behaviors. And you can't understand like what is causing it, but you could show some compassion and maybe give them the benefit of the doubt and realize maybe they're stressed, maybe they're suffering, and that's why they're lashing out. And sometimes we take it personally, and it does feel personal if someone, is rude to us or yells at us or kind of loses their temper with us. If it's somebody that you know really well and this is out of character for them, you may want to just ask them the question, are you okay today? And that could just be the compassionate act there, just asking that question, and that will get them moving into a space of healing and being able to deal with, whatever suffering or whatever they're struggling with. So let's move on to the other energetic theme, which is forgiveness. So, in the personal growth and development area, especially spiritual development world, you hear a lot about forgiveness. But a lot of times I feel people don't necessarily understand the true meaning of forgiveness or the practice of forgiveness. So, forgiveness isn't condoning what somebody may have done to you. Sometimes we hear people say, they wronged me, I'll never forgive them. That's a pretty harsh statement. What you need to do is kind of flip the definition of it or the way of looking at it. Give it a different meaning, the actual true meaning, which is forgiveness is about setting yourself free from the past role you played. And there's two roles in every situation, right? Especially when it comes to, a contentious kind of situation. There is, either the victim role or the abuser role. So you want to set yourself free from that past role you played in either of those. There could be instances where you were the abuser and you need to forgive yourself. So it's important to understand that forgiveness is necessary to heal and for you to move forward in your life. I see it frequently in my clients is they still have this lingering resentment or anger. It's subconscious. They don't even know it's there until we start talking and feeling into it, and all of a sudden it'll come up. And then they become aware of it. So it's really keeping them tied to that unhelpful energy, and they continue to create the same or similar situations for themselves in their lives, these challenging, unhelpful situations, because they didn't deal with the original situation and they keep reliving it in their mind. So November is going to be the time to break this cycle. And I want you guys to move forward with more peace of mind. The upcoming holidays may bring up unhappy memories or strained family relationships or past arguments for many people. It may not even be happening in the present moment. It may just be, again, a memory in your mind, but it feels real. And your body, your emotional body, your energetic body, it feels like it's actually happening and it's real. So you are reliving it. So if you find yourself remembering past interactions with someone and resenting how they treated you, how it made you feel, you can bring it into the present and practice forgiveness. Keeping it alive in your own mind and reliving those feelings of pain, anger, fear, or rejection is not going to help you. So when you have that emotion show up and then you're tying it to that past story where you may have had some kind of argument or disagreement with someone, I want you to first notice it, and then I want you to release that pattern. And it could be as simple as saying something like, I forgive and release you from playing this role for me, and say the person's name if it's a particular person. And then you can also say, I release myself from playing this role for you. And now we're both free. So again, very easy. I forgive and release you from playing this role for me. And I forgive and release myself from playing this role for you. And now we're both free. So just to wrap up, practicing for November around forgiveness, it has 3 areas similar to compassion. I want you to think about and actually practice forgiving others, forgiving yourself, and thirdly, remember that true meaning of forgiveness, right? It's setting yourself free. It's not excusing how someone may have hurt you or that actual act that was very hurtful. Hopefully, much of this message resonates for you and helps set you up for some deep healing and heart-filled experiences this month. And I want you to please share your experiences in a comment below as the month goes by. Come back, feel free to leave a message. It's very encouraging for other people to see and share in any kind of personal development, any growth, any aha moments that you're experiencing. And it just helps the community in general. Thank you, and we'll see you next month. Take care.